We're live.
There we go. Howdy, everyone. It is Crow's Nest No Quarter time again. This one's episode 48. So if you would like to... Oh, man, who's that? There we go.
That was me, but I believe there's more.
There you go.
Not me. I have mine muted.
See, now that was muted in the other one. Anyway, let's start again.
I actually know your trick didn't work. I had manually muted on this tab, so.
Same here.
All right, there we go. So it's episode 48, talking about the Molten Fury raid. So this one's called Stone Cold Fury. If you want to come and join us, the link is in the YouTube chat. So we will say hello to the four of us that are here at the moment and see if anyone else wants to join. So, and I may as well just go across my screen. So g'day, Toxic.
G'day, everyone. How are we going?
Howdy, Ross.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm not going to say hello to me because that's RB. So g'day, Damnation.
Hello.
Very good. So I thought an interesting thing would be to talk about the difference in people's raids and the actual fleet that they're using and driving versus auto and all that sort of stuff. So what do we all think about that? Are you happy to talk about that sort of stuff?
Indeed. Yep.
Cool. Because I know, Ross, you've been a big convert to the lowered cannon mount too.
I have indeed. I just I took the risk originally and put that on the hull, and I put it on all five, the lowered cannon mount, and what I took off was the auto loader, and I guess auto loader and siege targeting both had to be swapped out. I added hyper 30 and lower cannon mount 2, and I did that in all honesty. I thought originally that I would probably take a little bit more damage than others, so that would drive for sure. And but my game is not a steady. In the last few months, it just hasn't been connection-wise. It hasn't been the greatest. So I've been trying to build a fleet that, so no matter what would happen with the game lag or increase, poor performance, that I would be able to continue through the events. And so that was my intention. I just built the fleet that hoping that it would get me through, not do really extremely well. And I am ecstatic now on the performance difference between the last event and how I'm doing in this event with this lowered cannon mount 2. And it's just night and day.
Yeah, the lowered cannon mount 2 was the one thing I was just unsure about, just because, yes, it gave you a fair amount of resistance, but it also meant you were going to be walking up and face planting into that short range ballistic turret that was chewing the shit out of me last time, not having it. So I wasn't sure about that. So what I did was I held tokens just in case, and I figured, well, I'll do it, the way my fleet is now, and then I'll compare my times with people who did use it and see where we're at and see if it's worth doing the switch over. And I mean, it wasn't a huge savings in repair, but I mean, anything that's a saving is a saving. So I think it ended up saving me 20 minutes per target or something. So I went ahead and did the refit as well.
Good deal. Yeah, I mean, it's just been beneficial.
I know Dynamite in chat was asking what specials you had with that, Ross and Damnation.
Sure, I can on mine. Let's see here.
Do you want to just pull it up and screen share it, Ross?
I can do that. Let me close a couple.
Yeah, close your midget porn so you don't accidentally show it.
Possibly. Okay, let's see here.
While you're getting there, we could go ahead and ask some of the other guys how their raid's going.
I think
for it, Toxic.
Oh, hang on. Ross has it already.
Yeah, I'm on it.
I went ahead and put you on present too.
Okay, good deal. And then so what I did, originally I have the alloy armor CL4. I do have the Hyper 30. Then I put a ballistic resistor on it. On some of the others, I have the radioactive resistor, so I don't really, and I'm not noticing a difference just in the repair.
So that would lead me to almost believe that the damages are pretty even across the board this time then.
That's what I truly agree. I really think they are. I don't have any indicators that are saying otherwise, but it's a 10, 15%. So yeah, I should still see something, and I'm not. So I think they're close, at least. Then I do have the nuclear accelerators 3, and then siege battery 4. And then last, I put on this lowered cannon mount 2, and it just changed my fleet. And I just really like that. Now, on the lead, I do have the folded ferrite armor, the F1 CR, but on the rest of the fleet, I only made it to two of the folded on each, and then I used the charged zentonite C1 CR for the other 2 because that's what I already had on them from the last event. And I'm really not. I don't know. I'm not going to spend the time actually to go through and change it all to folded. I didn't have my lead done at the time. I didn't have armor on it, so I didn't change. I just built it this way. Is what I'm meaning to say. Is I don't really think it's beneficial to go back through and lose a day and a half of build time for that little bit of performance increase. You would get a little bit of increase, yes, but it's just not a drastic amount.
Cool. Thanks for that, Ross. Yeah. And welcome, Kill Switch, by the way. So,
and welcome, Chet, too, as well.
Ah, cool.
Good.
I did not see him pop in. So, how's your raid going, guys?
My raid is finished, and it was awesome.
Can you expand upon that at all?
Well, I probably made pretty close to almost 200 mil, and that's all I needed anyway. So,
and you're using the eradicators, of course, or
yeah, I'm using 5 of them, and with the tokens in the raid, I was able to complete my 5th eradicator.
Good deal. And so, what are you hitting for targets?
The 106s and what's the other one? The 104s.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I've been hitting too. I've noticed that some people are hitting the 100s, and then the 102s are out there also. You're not going to get a completion bonus for a set bonus. I'm sorry for those 2 targets, however, but they do have some some shards that people are chasing. And I know in my area, they're going after the 100s quite a bit, possibly to try to change the weapon on the eradicators. Yeah, have you all noticed that at all? I mean, people hitting 100s, or are you hitting the 104s, or what's everybody hitting?
Well, there's a lot of people hitting the 104s and 106s like mad over here, and
I know I'm hitting the 104s and 106s, and I'll be 100% honest. I generally don't pay a whole lot of attention to what other people are doing. I have problems enough keeping track of what I'm doing my own self.
Yeah, I've mainly been hitting 104s and 106s. So it's interesting, though, because I'll probably go back on something that Killswitch said in a minute. But what about Toxic and Chet? How's your raids going?
Good. I'm just trying to get leaderboard right now. I got everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting the 104s, 106s on auto. Using eradicators, of course. 106 is the one that gives the most damage, of course. but I'm only spending maybe 3-4 coin top for repair. I'm currently sitting at like 28 mil, 285 mil.
Okay, cool. And so I saw in chat you said you were using Grease Monkey. So is that in the dock or on the ocean?
On the ocean.
Okay. And are they splitting?
I don't pay attention. I just
Okay.
click attack and repair.
Yep.
I took more damage trying to drive over autoing for some reason.
Okay. Yeah.
People who are autoing the 106s with your eradicators, have you noticed that your damage can be like all over the place?
Yes.
Because I've gotten sometimes like I'll get like an hour damage, another time I'll get like over 2 hours damage.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's kind of the big variable there.
For me, pathing changes quite a bit. I sit and sometimes I do full auto even. I don't bunch them. I don't group them. I don't. So there's no change on my end at least because I wanted to know what's going on with that with repair jumping so much. So I just watched and it's the pathing for me that sometimes one ship will break away from the others and just go off on this disaster path on its own and try, because it just can't kill fast enough to be effective. And then or two ships go off on their own, and it has changed throughout the course of the event for me, but it still is just up all around. I'm still hitting and prepping for players, and the repair on the 106 is erratic. The 104 is very consistent, really.
I've noticed on the 106 as well, it definitely seems like I always have one boat that seems to take the brunt of the damage.
Yes. It's mine's the number 2.
See, for me, it's mostly been my flag.
Okay.
I agree with Ross. It's the number 2 that's usually the one that has the damage.
Not for me. It was the flag.
It almost seems like there's some kind of obviously priority targeting in there, and then it's just whichever one of your boats happens to get hit first, and then that's the one the priority target starts picking at.
Mm. And that would also be because that's the Shrike target as well, I guess. So there's something that's slightly different in there. So you're seeing consistency on the 104, but because we're using eradicators in the Shrike target, that's why you might be getting the variance.
But still, with that being said, even with the variance, I'm pretty overall pleased with the damage difference between the Shrike target and the Eradicator target on this level. I do totally understand that the damage should be increased, but I think it actually is at a difference that I'm not really thrilled, or I can't say that, but that I can live with. I'm okay. I'm all right with it. That I don't have the Shrek, and I'm still able to hit that target without just being raped financially. Let's be honest. So it's working out for me.
Well, I think after weeks and weeks of argument and weeks of kicks being yelled at, they realized, hey, hardly anybody has strikes done. I think they were made well aware of that fact. So maybe that has a fair amount to do with it. Maybe they for once actually listened.
Well, it doesn't help that almost every week they're coming out with a new special for the Eradicator there for a while.
Oh, yes, believe me, they're aware of that. I pointed that out to them, and they were not happy at the way I pointed that out.
Because I had to refit like 3 different times before my first 2 ships before I had them finished.
Yeah, that's one thing I do not enjoy is the refits but I guess it's a release of it's when they release the items. If they were a little bit better, more diligent on when they released items in the order that they did or when or what together with what, we'd be given those items. I'm not really a fan of escalation weapons, especially when we have cycles this short. If our cycles were maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe I could deal with some escalate some escalation weapons. I'm sorry, I couldn't say that very well, but at the rate we are now, 2 fleets and then escalation weapons. Wow, you know.
Well, not only escalation weapons, but escalation specials as well. You know, I mean, you had the batteries that are in the current thing, and you had all those specials that didn't come out until after the first raid, like lower cannon mount, CL4, and all that kind of shit. I mean, that's really a lot of pressure.
Right.
And just real quick, I wanted to pull up on my screen. We had talked about on Thursday about how we thought we were going to put a thing in where they showed how many things you had stacked, and we couldn't find it. Actually, on this first overview tab of the Molten Fury raid modal, if you like mouse over the one that's lit up, it will actually tell you like whether you have 1 target or whether you have 13 targets or whatever queued up for your set bonus. So that it is in there, and I appreciate Rue actually sent me the screenshot of this. She ran across it the other day, so it is actually in there. It just wasn't like graphically displayed like where I thought it would have been. But yeah, it is in there. You just have to mouse over your target, and it'll tell you how many you have stacked up.
Well, I just learned that. I didn't know that the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't find out like until I guess it was Friday morning when Rue sent me the message.
I like
and
that.
what a good little addition it is. It's because some of these things like they don't seem like much, but it's those little quality of life things that actually make a difference. Because
and I know
it's annoying having to count stacks and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I know. I personally had been asking for that for quite some time, so
yeah, it makes a big difference. So.
Funny how
they lose me. I'm the oddball out here, so I thought I'd wait till last.
Okay.
I'd built 3 eradicators. I fully built 2 and partially built 1 ballistic, and then we had a bit of a discussion, and a brain fart emerged, and we went with that. Well, I went with that, and I've refitted all 3 plus the brutal and built an extra one, so I've got 4 eradicators. Oh, sorry, 3 eradicators and the brutal now on a launcher-based attack. It's good. I don't mind it. I still have 1 to go. So the 10-day tokens probably will get me part of the way there to get the last one on the launchers and off the ballistic. As in performance-wise, I've noticed, and when we were on Hangout yesterday, I couldn't keep the ships together. It was really hard. They would just go all over the place. They'd only sort of stack for a small amount of time, and then they would just go and totally unstack, and that makes driving a little bit hard. And for a 106, I think I had an hour and a half's worth of damage, so it's about 3 coins on a grease monkey, I think it was, or thereabouts, between 2 and 3 coins. But the 104, I can do 2 104s, and I can do that for like a 2-coin repair. So what I spend extra on the 106, I gain in the 104, I guess. I'm pretty happy with the 4 ships that I've got right now, and I'm hoping it'll maybe get better when I get the 5th ship the 5th hull to put in there and drive with it.
That just blows my mind that the launchers on the Eradicator make them harder to stack. That blows my brain.
Yeah, it's you've seen it
Yeah,
yesterday,
I'm not denying anything because I know we went through and tried to figure out, like, okay, well, are you sure you have the same engine on all of them? Are you sure you're hitting with your demo squad and not your grease monkey? And we went through and tried to figure all kinds of things, and everything was the same across the board. So yeah, it definitely seems to be the launchers.
Yeah, the best thing that happened was when I refreshed. It was good for like half to 3/4 of the target, but then towards the end they would sort of pull apart again. So to have a half decent stack in the target, I would have to refresh every time after every target, and I just can't be bothered. So I do the best I can, and it wasn't the 104s this morning weren't bad at all. So kind
And
of
I
happy.
know they said that strikes were having that same problem in the 106, where they would like end up just spinning in circles on auto and stuff. So I'm wondering if somehow, for some reason, it seems like it must be tied to the weapon for some reason, which makes literally no sense. But
Well,
the way this thing is all held together with string and duct tape, it's hard to tell.
if he's saying he's stacked after he refreshed, that's even crazier, right? I mean that refresh performance or connection would change your stackability.
Well, well, this morning, like if I'd refresh, I'd went in, and I'd stack the ships up. Then I've tried to drive them some way, but I've clicked. You click a little bit too far. You can't always exactly click where we need to stop. So I manually stopped them. But two ships, one decided to go left and one decided to go forward.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, it's that sort of thing. Like if you let them stop on their own, they'll stop together.
Okay.
If you do a turn and then turn the other way, then they totally unstack. There might be two turning one way and one turn the other way.
Right.
It's just stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like they would drive like a beer bottle shape, where you click on a spot and then they will sort of drift apart and then come back together. It's stuff like that. It makes it a little bit harder to drive, but I don't think it's probably giving me a little bit more damage. I could probably maybe out of maybe a coin less if for a whole set, maybe, and in damage. It's hard to say. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this ride. Even though I've got number 5 hull, which is still ballistic, is stacked up. I keep it in a corner somewhere. Maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. It's not armored properly, so I can't put it in with the others and try it, because it dies like almost straight away when you get shot at. Yeah, and that's. With the 4 hulls, I'm doing pretty good, I reckon, for the way I drive.
Have you tried shift clicking the turrets?
No.
That might make a difference.
Yeah, it just depends which way you drive onto it. Like if I come straight at it and it stops by itself, that's not a problem. But if I have to manually stop, then one ship may hop ahead a little bit, or or turn left or whatnot.
Yeah, because I know, like when I started the raid, I really just wasn't feeling it, so I didn't actually like fully start hitting it properly until yesterday, and I had Strike System 5, and I had not as bad issues as stacking as yours, and I've got ballistic, so but I was noticing that I was having trouble. So a few things that I did was to go back and have a look at some videos that other people had put out, and that helped a bit, and just trying to minimize how much I was turning, and then I did, because there's actually some tokens in this raid for once. Hooray! The crowds unite.
Oh yeah.
Because how long have we been saying that for? And I think it's made a big difference to the actual tone of the raid, that people can actually finish their fleets and use the tokens that they're getting in the raid. But anyway, never mind.
Something else I suggested and they actually listened to.
Yes. So in the end, I put ballistic resistors on, and what was the other one? And hyper 30, and that made a big difference in my damage. So yeah, I prefer the 106 target because one of the things I've found to be very helpful is to keep your frenzy going all the time. And I wonder if part of that is what you're finding success with the lowered cannon mount too, because you're always basically in frenzy. You're not losing that, but it'd be interesting to see, because if you're just autoing and not watching, I mean, you're not going to know, and maybe that is another part of why you're getting more damage out of some targets than the others if they wander off and lose that frenzy, because it makes a massive difference.
Yeah. No, and it does really. I think that frenzy part with the lower cannon mount, they just get right up close to targets and they just drive right in the middle of them, And so it is easier for it to maintain its frenzy. Visually, it is. I mean, it's a lot better than me trying to drive. I know that because you stay on the outside trying to drive this with this lowered cannon mount. And the mountains also. It drives right on them, So it does stay in frenzy pretty well.
Yeah.
A lot more
I know the one thing I've noticed in like the 106 is though autoing with the lowered cannon mount is several times I've noticed it in the 104 too. It's like several times it will actually like go past turrets that it should be shooting at to get up in range of other turrets.
Yes.
And suddenly I'll be within range where I should have only been in range of one turret, maybe two. Now I'm suddenly in range of like 4, possibly 5 different turrets. So that is kind of concerning, that pathing on auto.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. There's a couple points in each target that occurs.
Yeah, because I know one specifically is like going up through that one channel in the 104. You go right by two
launchers.
No, two what the hell are those things called? The long range cannons. I'm drawing a blank. Help me out here. Javelins. That's or is it javelins? No,
they look like javelins, but they call something else. But
yeah, you end up
harpoon-like.
No, it's the javelin ones, but you end up driving like right past 2 of them, and you're sitting in between 2 of them, and you're shooting at a turret that's behind them. It's like, well, that don't make no fucking sense.
Right.
Yeah, well, with my build, I haven't got enough special spots to put the hyper 30 on, so
right.
I take a lot more damage than you guys with the hyper 30.
Have you got is there enough tokens in this that you could finish that 5th one out potentially?
I can probably armor it and put the specials and a couple of weapons on it. Yeah.
Okay, so you've still got a fair bit to go.
Yeah, the 5th one I haven't even touched because I had, like I said, I had to refit almost 3 full ballistic ones. But that's why I'm a bit behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying like 10 days worth, and I think it's 5 days and a bit for the armor, and yeah, I should be able to do something with it so that I can at least go and shoot with it.
Pew pew.
Oh, yeah, and see if that does anything. I mean, with the 4 I've got now, if I shoot at one turret, it's basically a shockwave every shot. And if there's a turret next to it or close by, then that takes damage as well. But it seems to be that there's always a slither of health left on it, so that you have to go and drive into it and get shot by the throwers for at least a little bit. It doesn't quite kill both of them, and I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't. We had a talk about that yesterday, but it probably won't. But maybe it will. It'll kill both of them with the 5th chip. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Do we want to talk about the tier 8 getting the unlock store thing open? That's kind of a spot for a lot of people right now.
It's a real problem. I mean, it really is for the people that just don't need problems in the game. Really, the ones that are struggling, in my opinion, are struggling. I would say, why penalize them? You know, let them pick. This locked store thing, we don't. It's just silly.
Well, I know, like, and RB was a great example of this. RB had to get 60 million points to unlock the lock store because the only thing he didn't have was the OP weapon.
Yeah, so I'd made a choice a long time ago that I didn't really want it, but I guess I was forced to have it. But I mean, you know, it's not, to me, I'm irritated about it, but I'm not that irritated about it because things like actually having tokens in the raid makes me not really care about it so much. You know, if it was that I was stuck 60 million behind, you know, something that I wanted, and then there were no tokens, I'd be a lot more pissed off about it. But you know, it's the simple things like that. But
well, but then you also have the fact that when you rate difficulty, let's be honest, this rate, and people are going to shoot me for saying this because they're going to be like, no, it's going to be harder next time. But this rate is not all that difficult. You know, had it been like, say, the last raid was, and then you were locked behind that 60 million, boy,
it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah, you'd be pretty fucking hot right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's you know, it's those sorts of things that make people just walk away and not participate at all. And I am only talking from my point of view. But I did see, you know, there was people in comms that are, you know, pissed off that they have to get a flag that they, you know, they don't want, they're never going to build. And, you know, quite frankly, now you're probably really, you know, you've pretty much said goodbye to that fleet. Even with tokens, you're not going to get it built. So, you know, I do understand that. So, you know,
and like, why they just didn't put like some kind of uranium or titanium or chest or whatever in tier 8 to be able to unlock the tier 8 store, I'm not sure. Because I know they did that with tier 7 and tier 6. Now, I know on the other show last night they were saying, well, all you have to do to unlock tier 8 was buy one of those things. And unless there's a glitch, that's not true. You know?
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah. Well, I know I was even stuck lower down because I never got the penance cannon, so I had to unlock that as well. And I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to use that. I didn't use it before. I'm not going to use it now, but you know, it's only $1.5 million. Well, I'll accept that. But when I got to the dampener, I was pretty pissed off. But you know,
so RV, you only had one tier open to start.
Yeah.
Now, see, I was like pretty much the exact opposite. I logged on and all my tiers were open, and I'm like, oh, is this just a visual thing again? Have they fucked that all up again? But now I was actually able to go through and redeem stuff in all the locked tiers. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
The same here on my side.
Yeah, same with me. It was open. So when people were trying to explain it, I had to, you know, sit there and think really about what was going on for them. And then they, you know, and they'd send me screenshots. I would understand. Because a lot of people in my alliance did the same exact deal with the OP weapon. They're claiming, you know, they didn't claim it or they didn't have it, or, you know, and that's 60 million is a lot for these players that they're actually would plan on, they'd score enough to get the hull and the specials possibly, but now with the 60, it's probably going to make them choose other things.
Well, I was grumbling and mumbling, and I only needed. I mean, I haven't got the Shrike or the flag, and I don't really want it. I'm not going to build it. I don't need it. And I was grumbling and mumbling, just having the 20 mil for that stupid Shrike that I had to if I'd had to have 60 mil, I would have not done the raid. I would have just stopped right there and then.
Mm.
So yeah, that's stupid doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand. I understand, the whole concept of the lock store, but 60 million just seems excessively punitive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've said this, for years now that no one, wants to be stuck behind barriers, but they obviously want to. This is the way they want to do it, and this is the way they're going to do it. So, I guess part of it is the pressure that it's putting on you to get stuff that you don't necessarily want or need, but you're going to get caught out later, and and that was the other part of it. I'd made the choice that I didn't want the dampener. I could have taken it, when it first came out, but I decided I didn't really want it and I didn't need it. So, I guess it's caught up with me in the end. So that's part of the choices that we make in this game, I guess.
Little did you know that you did really wanted it and needed it.
Yes, I was told how much I needed it and wanted it. Very good. Cool. And did we want to, was there anything else you wanted to talk about the raid, or I sort of wanted to talk about the weapons a bit, because we got to talk about the hull last week without knowing about the weapons. So I just sort of wanted to get people's feel of the weapons now that they've seen them or whatever, and if you've seen them in action.
You're in charge, whatever.
Well, if anyone else wants to talk about the raid, we can talk about the raid. I mean, it's all interconnected anyway, so.
No, it's good. I mean, I haven't seen very many of the basilisks out on the world map yet. The ones I have seen have been missile so far. So one players I was very impressed with, two players I was not. So it's it seems like the build really could make or break you. Possibly. I mean,
I've only seen videos of mortar fleets. I haven't really seen anything else out and about. So I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has seen anything, or
I've actually been hit by a bow, but only like testing them out, the mortars and the missiles. But I've been full on smashed already by a fleet of them. So I have defended well against them on some, and I have been smashed already by others. So I'm getting to see quite my share of them. In all honesty, I've been hit 4 times with them since the raid started. So they can be impressive with a good driver. They can be there if they are a skill haul. They're not a point and click haul, and so I like that. I like it.
Yeah, I haven't been hit by like 3 or 4 of them yet. I had been hit by one guy that had 1 in his fleet, and I'll be honest, I wasn't overly impressed by it.
Now, I've just got a question about the missile. The range, it's got 75 to 76.
Uh-huh.
So
it's a minute little ring.
Yeah, well,
you start adding all your specials and everything, because once you add range increasing specials, your maximum range is going to go up, but your minimum is going to stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is something new that I've never done that sort of crap before.
Not to that degree, no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I honestly, I think that's because they don't want these new weapons used in base defense, and I'm pretty sure that's why they've done that.
Yeah. Oh well. I just thought it intriguing.
Yeah. Just one more thing to fuck defenders over. Because Lord knows we don't do that enough most of the time, so might as well throw a little extra in there. Although I'll be honest, like base defense is actually pretty strong right now, so
So what does that make the max range on them? So it'd be like 75 to what, 100 and something or other?
135, I think. I don't know. I did the math, but I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
135 seems high.
It's
Well, all the ranges on this fucking boat seem high.
I think it's 135, 137 or something like that.
Okay.
It is. It's that high. And then it's something. Yeah,
I think mortars end up being what, like 145, 148, somewhere around in there.
right. And then the built-in one's what, 160?
67, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does take a good Keegan got me on. Keegan smashed me, right? Rightfully so with the fleet. So he's not a bad driver. But it's so I think that they could be used correctly or used. They're a niche haul, in my opinion. They are.
I think them with missiles without retargeting on the missiles, I think will make a good prep fleet. I think.
Yes. See, I don't think this is a haul for the masses to build a fleet of and say they're not going to just go out and you're just not going to beat all the bases with them. You're not. They have glass jaw, but they have their specific uses and a huge range. I mean, silliness range. So
yeah, definitely a learning curve on using them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that before, that it'll be interesting to see, in the next sort of months or so, when people get used to driving them a bit better to see how it all goes. So,
as always, too, guys in chat, if you have questions or something you want us to focus on specifically in our discussion, just type something over there in chat, and I'll pick it up as we go.
I mean, the reload of the mortar is extremely long.
Oh, which one? The weapon or the
dark
one?
The Dark Cloud. It's like a 25-second reload time.
Yeah, I think with like specials and rank and everything, you get it down to like around 2 point something, I think.
Really, that much?
Yeah. Well, I know the built-in one that has the 30-second reload. You can actually get that one down to 3.75, I do believe. Hang on, let me do something silly. Let me get out my reload calculator that is available for anybody to get on the BP Crow's Nest page.
Yeah, I know. Like last week, we were talking about whether to go mortar or missile, but now having seen the weapons themselves, I know I'm certainly going for missile because of the reload time. It's like, to me, it's just too long.
Yeah, because just like you're the built-in mortar going from 30 seconds reload, just having max rank takes it down to 7.5 seconds. Like, I don't know what would be like max reload bonus you would have for mortars, like 65%, maybe 70.
Something
I don't really know.
I'm gonna factor in at 75%, 70% worth of reload, so that takes you down to 4.41.
Yeah, because the other thing that got me about the mortar was the projectile speed being so slow. It's like it's a floating balloon.
Yeah, that's the killer on the Dark Cloud mortar. It's like, my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like projectile speed is what, like 50 or something ridiculous?
50 something. It's
52.
Silly. Yeah, that's silly. That's like tossing an air balloon at you.
Yeah. So in the end, that's why, when I build it, I'll go with missiles, not mortars. So, the projectile speed's such a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny because, it's like, give it 100% projectile speed. Okay, or you're going to whopping 100 then, or whatever. It's like, whoop-de-doo.
The other thing I wanted to talk about too, but you sound like you were going to say something.
I was just going to say if we wanted to talk about BP next week, but it sounded like you had something you wanted to talk about before that, so shoot.
Yeah, I just wanted to cover quickly the limited shards, the radioactive and ballistic batteries. So because you were saying that mathematically it doesn't work out, it's not worth swapping them over. So
yeah, I think for as far as the ballistic one, I think it's only going to be specific in that like one niche build that we had talked about, where if you run the crit special, I think the ballistic battery is probably definitely better there. I don't know about I haven't really decided on the radioactive one though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I haven't. I'm looking at them, and I just don't know if I should add those to my.
I honestly want to say on the radioactive ones, I don't think it really matters because all your turret damage is basically coming from your booms, and the radioactive damage part itself doesn't affect your booms, so I'm not sure that it's worth taking the time to swap it out.
Maybe we'll have a look at Toxic's build after the show and just see if it's worth swapping over or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like if you do like, say, I have no idea how many booms it takes to kill a turret because I haven't done anything with launchers at this point. But say if you after like 3 booms, your turret still has like a sliver of damage left on it, maybe it might be worth swapping out at that point. I don't know. Yeah. No, Watchman joined us. What's up, Watchman?
Hey. So on the ballistic battery, I am using this. Hello. Good evening. I am using the special. Let's see. Oh no, I'm not.
No, I was gonna say no, you're not wrong.
Cool story.
No, yeah, I'm not. So never mind. Scratch that.
Cool story, bro.
2 thumbs up. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh, too bad Ross doesn't have his camera on. We can see him blushing right now with him.
Yeah. Well, at least that was fast response. I was looking.
It was. That's true. That's true.
No, it's not like he wanted the whole 20-minute dissertation and then like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Watchman, how's your raid going? Are you there?
Yeah. Pretty good. I've got about 300 mil I stopped on the first day. Just went 3 runs with Grease Monkeys. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of echo. I think it might be running somewhere else.
Gotcha. Cool.
Cool. So the other thing too was those Siren Rogue crews. So when are they supposed to be given out to everybody?
I believe they're given out either Tuesday during the update or Wednesday. I think one of the actually they added an extra day to the raid, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if that'll affect the time of when they hand those out or not. So I don't know. You're not supposed to get them as you go. You're supposed to get them whenever all that other shit normally gets given out. Speaking of stuff getting given out, I did want to touch on the fact that everybody got like a 1-day siege build token and some titanium and uranium. I think that was pretty cool. They didn't have to do that, so that was cool.
Yeah, have we ever celebrated the Chinese Lunar Year before?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, but they can call it whatever they want to as long as they're giving me free shit. I don't really care what they call it.
Yeah, no, I'm much the same, and it is appreciated because it's one of those things that if you want to get people to build the new hull and we all know that it takes a crap ton of titanium. How about you give them the titanium to encourage them to build it? What a novel idea! So yeah, no, it is good to see.
Yeah, something for free is always nice. Yeah.
That's right, and they're only little things, but you know they make the tone of the raids and the player sentiment so much better. So it's little things like this that make a big difference. So, and I know one thing I was commenting on, and I sort of touched on it before, was how many raid videos there are out this time. So I think that's a really good place to be, and it's good to see that people are interested in doing it again. It could be that people have actually got the fleets to do it this time too. So
yeah, raid. We were something we were talking about last night. Was last raid breed videos were really hard to come by.
Well, I finished my refits on my eradicators about an hour and a half before the raid started. That's how many bloody refits we had to do, like, you know.
Yeah.
I actually had to finish mine during the raid. Like my first 2 sets I had to do before I could, and then got the tokens so I could do the refits to what I actually wanted them to be. And they're still not fully to where I want them to be, but they're closer than what they were.
Well, I've picked up all the tokens anyway in the raid because I thought you never know when the next refit's going to be.
That's exactly right.
I picked up the Shrike tokens. I mean, I think I've got 1 Shrike hull, which is a blank built. I'm not really concentrating on them. I can probably get the others done for VXP, just the blank hulls, but they'll never be done for the next raid anyway. But they'll probably eventually get built. Well, if we need them for like FM targets or something like that. But of course, by the end of the next raid, we'll be building the next lot of hulls for that series. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, for me, I'm not going to build them myself. So
No,
I'm working on them as I have time. Like my flag is almost done. It just needs to be armored, and I think 2 more weapons added to it. And then I have 3 blank hulls built, and I think my 4th one is on its way out right now.
I kind of get the feeling that Kickside knows that most people have built the Eradicators. Well, because we had to, because that was the first hull offered. But when it eventually goes to the map targets, that it'll favour the Shrikes. So like you'll get penalised if you haven't built the Shrikes, you know, because that seems to be their modus operandi. You know, that it's the one that people have built the least of. That seems to be the one that's the targets are geared for in a later date. So
I guess that means when they do the skirmish targets, then they're going to favor razors, which was going to make me happy.
Yeah, I've got both of those. I mean, I did have both of those built. I mean, normally I do have both fleets built, but this is the first time I've not built both fleets. You know,
Round 1.
But you know, I'll say I might just get some hulls done, and you know, get them ranked at the VXP weekend, so at least they're there in case I do need to, you know, refit them, and they might bring some more tokens out at a later date. So, yeah. So
yeah, that'll be my modus operendi over the course of the next 3 weeks or whatever. I'll work on my Shrikes because I don't really have any other PvE stuff to build, so that'll be my regular shipyard. And then hopefully we get tokens that I can finish them out. But obviously, as soon as the new hull comes out the next raid, I'll be starting to work on that right away. So,
yeah, I'm planning on building a few. So, because we'll have, you know, 3 or 4 weeks or however long they'll decide until the next raid. So, I guess we'll be able to at least get a couple built. So,
I'm not building Shrikes. I'm still sitting with 5 blank Proto-Apollos without a target on the map. You got to be kidding. I'm ready to scrap the suckers. There's no way in hell I'm building a Shrike fleet for nothing, no reason. I mean, you got to. This is all written up to release and how they release things. If they wanted me to build a Shrike, then they should have released it in a better order, better timing. If they wanted me to build the Apollo fleet, they should have it. Why do I have the Apollo? First of all, why do I even have a blank Proto-Apollo fleet in my dock?
I have no idea why you did. As soon as they gave me the free blank when I scrapped it,
because
so I have literally no idea why you spent the time building the other 4.
I mean, it makes no sense. It's because they That was the progression of the game. I should have had a. There's no way they should have put a hole out and not had a target for it yet.
Well, I mean, they do have targets for it. It's the titanium targets.
Well, I mean, in the SSRB is what I was told. I mean, I thought they were going to add a section to the SSRB track base.
I think they're too busy fucking up all the fundamentals of the games to do anything like that.
Well, here's the thing, though. See, the map targets are different than the SSRB. I was told that they were going to be originally for the SSRB. So I was waiting to tune them to the SSRB, because if I tuned them to the map targets, that might not work, because there's many holes that do real well on the map target and then they don't make it in the SSRB. But
well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who told you they were for SSRBs?
The game team.
The video the game team put out was hitting map targets.
Yeah, I know, but when they did say it, the whole briefing they put out when that's the only reason I know about the third section to an SSRB was before the Proto Apollo, or we wouldn't have been even told about it.
Yeah, see, I don't recall them ever saying about they were going to do that third section of the SSRB. Maybe
I've never heard about that.
No, Ross is right.
Let me do forum searching here.
I mean, we wouldn't have been told about the SSRB in that case.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So it's interesting, though, that you say that, Ross, because that was one of the things that I was going to touch on before, was that I'm curious to see how the lowered cannon mount 2 plays out, just to circle back to that, because I'm wondering, because I'm not 100% convinced that that's the way to go at the moment. So because I'm wondering if, like, it's great in the raids, but when these targets come on the map, we're going to find that, you know, there's something slightly different, or they don't work as well, or whatever. Because, you know, we've seen that happen with the dragons and the TLCs and stuff like that. That if you shorten the range, you know, you have a hell of a time in the TLCs. So I'm kind of half thinking it's worth taking a bit more damage in the raid, knowing that it's half repair, to then, you know, maybe not have so much pain in upcoming TLCs and map targets. But
well, I mean, I think Ross will be okay. I mean, as long as, I take it he picked up the tokens this raid, so if he needs to refit, he's got those tokens anyway. If he has put the lower cannon mount on, right? But the lower cannon mount does work well in this raid. You know.
Yeah, I'm also kind of thinking like people that are finishing off builds and stuff like that, because, you know, it was like, you know, when we were talking to G Daddy last week, and, you know, saying that Ross's play style isn't good for his play style and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you've got to think about where you are in the game, and, well, not where you are, but just how quickly you can adapt if you need to. So I think that's part of the difference, is that it's easy when you're at a point when you can adapt quicker than others. So
that's it. I mean, I just grabbed as many tokens as I can, and they're there if I need them in the future. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm doing the same. But, you know, if you're, you know, your whole raid is bloody hell, I got 100 million, that's the best I've ever done. It's, you know, it's a lot different story, if that makes sense.
Just be careful with the tokens, because you can only hold 10. So if you've got any tokens already, you can only hold 10. So don't. I guess it won't let you buy it anyway. So
yeah, it's not like a TLC where you're getting awarded them and you can't
do anything about it.
No, well, we technically got 11 if you got the siege token as well, isn't it? So
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count towards your limit on eradicating.
No. That's it, because it's a siege token, But technically, we have 11 if you don't use them. You know what I mean?
And these tokens are the best thing, in my opinion, the best thing in the raid.
Yeah, I'm the same. You know, to me, to be able to, you know, to be able to adapt, I need as many tokens as I can possibly get, because we've all suffered from builds we've been married to, and trying to change them when there's other stuff coming out and all that sort of thing. It makes it pretty hard. So I'm just I'm always try to stay aware of not everyone's in the same position. So
and I think RB, and you're same boat as I play on a budget usually, and I don't like spurge very often. So I make whatever the coins last for quite some time. I might coin a great deal, but I make what I have last. So for planning, I really like these tokens. Like Watchman said, I didn't need them, but I got them for sure. And I think that's the best, and that's how I feel, the best prize in the raid, because if something comes up where I'm going to need to change them just to be successful immediately, or the faster I can change over changes how well I do in the game, then those tokens are great to have stored.
Yeah.
Just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they dropped a few more tokens in, haven't they? Because I could still pick a few up, but because I got what I originally thought I needed. I went to 300 million. I thought I don't need to go to 500. But they've dropped a few more out. So tomorrow, I'll help a few of the Alliance prep, and that'll get me enough points to pick up the other bits I need, I think. Some of our lower guys that are struggling a little bit, once I get out there and help them, that'll give me the extra points that I need to pick up the other tokens.
What do you mean, extra ones?
What's it? They from the start of the raid, because I did the raid from the get-go. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had it done in a few hours, sort of thing. And then they dropped a few more tokens in later, which I'd overlooked. So there's a couple more in there now, which I need to pick up. But I said I'll pick them up once I help a few our lower guys prep.
Yeah. And they're certainly spread throughout the prize list too. So make sure you go back and check where they are. So
yeah, they're all over the place, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's just messy.
Yeah, I think there's there's 5 in tier 8, there's 3 in tier 7, and then there's 2 in tier 6, I think.
Yeah. Correct. I'm looking around.
Yeah, that's correct. I just bought one of them, so.
And I missed the 2 in the tier 6 until somebody mentioned that earlier. I mean, I didn't see it. I mean, I couldn't. I was like, really?
Yeah, we want to move on to the BP next week thing, because we're actually past the hour mark already.
Yeah, no worries at all. So, did I click it away? You know what I did too. While I was looking at something else.
While you look for that, I'm doing a 104 right now as we speak. I've taken the ballistic hull out that normally parks in the corner, and I've started to rebuild it to the launcher spec. I've done one target and I've turned left, I've turned right, I've done everything I normally did before, where they would separate, and they do not now. So it may have been because one of them was sitting in the corner, which the game for some reason doesn't like. They are now together like it's one ring. You don't even know there's four hulls in there.
Nice.
So problem solved.
I thought the 106 was where you really had the problems though, and not the 104.
Yeah, I had it in the 104s just as well. I mean, this morning especially, I couldn't do a turn without them separating. But it's not doing anything like that at all now. So.
Did anyone notice the damage escalation in the 106? Because from when I first started, I went back in again, and I seemed to take more damage in the 106 than I did from when the raid initially started.
Well, it jumps up and it's all around the place. So I can't say that it's consistent. I can't say that your next one won't go back down. I'm jumping. There's a 20-minute variance for me. 20
No,
minutes.
I've had like over an hour variance for me. I've had some that I did for like right an hour on full auto with no crew, and then I've had others that I took a little over 2 hours on full auto with no crew.
Yeah, I mean, I found a pattern that I liked, and I was getting like a reasonable amount of damage, a couple of coins, and then it went up to 3 coins. You know, it was like, and I'm driving the exact same path. You know, I thought, okay, maybe it's an anomaly, and I went back in again, same thing, a couple of times. I thought, yeah, okay, they've turned it up. You know.
Yeah, I personally haven't noticed the damage increase.
Yeah, I was going to say overall, I haven't seen, you know, the masses of screamings that happen all over the pages when it does happen. So
no, I don't think it was.
I'm not saying that it hasn't.
Yeah, I don't think it was a massive increase. I think it was just enough to push it from 2 to 3. You know what I mean? Just push it over. You know, so it's not like I doubled the damage. It just went up. It tweaked up a little bit, and I just took a little bit more every time. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got the BP next week. If you want to.
Go to you.
All right, so I got you on for that.
Because we know Toxic doesn't ever read it, so this probably is the only opportunity that he gets to.
That's not till next week, though, isn't it?
I was going to say, just because he's on the show and we cover it doesn't mean necessarily he'll know what happened either. So,
what show? Are we on the show?
No, it's just a hangout. And we're just talking. So
I've just run out of tablets. That's all.
Again?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it looks like they're doing some work for 2 new campaigns and several reef runs, if I can get my mouth to work. Probably the big one is that they're going to do the transition of skirmish targets on the map. So so they're replacing the uranium targets, right? Is that
correct?
Yes. I was trying to go through the order of it in my head the other day, and that's always a scary thing. So no doubt we'll see new uranium targets coming up shortly. So hopefully the damage is okay and they've actually factored that into account.
But let's be honest, does anybody actually do the map uranium targets, or does everybody just do SSRBs?
SSRBs, isn't it? Free repair, you know what I mean? 3 hits and you're filled up, aren't you?
Yeah.
With your bat race, you know. I mean, obviously, if the lower level guys, they don't have that, maybe, you know, a bat race build, but I think...
Well, even most of the lower level guys have bat race build. All they had to do was log in, and they got it briefly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. So, yeah, virtually everybody should be able to do it by now, you know.
Well, that's actually part of what makes me start to grab the roll of tinfoil, because it's like, who's to say that they won't fiddle around with the SSRBs?
Shut your mouth.
I know, right? I know.
Oh no.
I honestly, though, I don't see him having the time to do that.
Well, I hope not. I really do hope not.
Because one thing I noticed that got left out of this update that was supposed to be in this update was the defense changes and the battle log.
Yeah.
I mean, if they actually ask the player base, I mean, I think those map targets for the uranium are more or less superfluous. We don't really need them because everyone is hitting the SSRBs. You know, there's not any need for them to be out there.
If they're not out there, they can't give us lag. So why would they take them away?
Yeah. Oh, lag is horrendous at the moment. It's for me anyway. So.
Yeah. My raid's been very stable.
It doesn't seem that we need them. You know, in this case.
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of different people at lots of different levels, so or not levels, you know, part of their gameplay. So it's
I suppose so. Yeah.
Because I'd say that the Bat Ray fleet was probably one of the biggest successes for the player base as a general, because you don't hear people talking about having to prep uranium, and you know they actually can go out and do it themselves whenever they want.
Yeah.
So. And that's a good thing. And, you know, people not relying on just a broken daily campaign that we haven't seen. So,
I've done with them for ages now anyway. Yeah, I say I just use SSRBs, but yeah. I still think that the sectors should just be open all the time, because we end up having to do a task to do a task. or do a chore to do a chore. You know what I mean? I don't see why you have to keep opening up the sector. You know?
Yeah, there's no disagreement there. That's an old thing that doesn't really need to be there anymore. So
Yeah, it's a chore to do a chore.
I think it had its time. It was a neat little. It did have. But yeah, I believe its time's gone. But I do remember when the whole sector threat thing started. That was kind of a neat change. But it's moved on.
That's the thing. We've all moved on from it. So I do get it. So
all right, I heard the cat's back a little bit to the update.
Yep.
In the thing.
So then the 20th, we get to hear Wrong Thinker and what they've been, what they're focusing on, not what they're actually doing, just what they're focusing on. So that's nice to see. And then next weekend, we'll get another VXP activity with some improvements.
I was really sad to see that the battle report thing got pushed. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see, though, that the defense change got pushed, because I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in two minds about all of this, because I if they make a commitment, I want them to stick to it, but at the same time, I want it to work. So it would be nice to say, we've pushed this back because of, instead of just, you said this was going to happen and now it doesn't happen.
They pushed that back to defense change because it hasn't been tested at all yet. It's now supposed to be slated for the 9.10 update.
Well, who's to say? It could be the 9.26 update.
I'm telling you what was said on Discord the other day.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they'll keep with this plan until the new guys come in, and then there'll be a new plan. And
yeah, but we have our next team switch before the defense next year. So that's what I'm doing.
And tell you what, do you ever see the Monty Python film with the titles, and the titles keep changing because they've got a new team in to do the titles and stuff like that? And it just reminds me of like a Monty Python sort of scenario, It's like there's the new guys, it's completely different,
Well, I was going to say it's the plan until we come up with another plan, and then we'll have another plan about that. So I didn't even get to the new team part. It was just
first we have to have meetings about having meetings about our new plan to replace the old plan.
Yeah, no, they don't so much talk about those meetings anymore.
Well, that's because they don't ever do their webcasts anymore.
Yeah.
No, those are gone. But so on the 22nd, we get a pill, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm hoping it's cyanide. Oh, sorry.
I just want to know if it's going to be blue or red. That's the only thing I care about. Cool. All right. Well, is there any other final thoughts before we finish up on this lovely broadcast?
Oh, it's a lovely broadcast, is it?
Yeah.
I
know, right?
We're sending people into seizures now with giving them that tunnel thing.
That's why I'm turning it off. Nothing wrong with a good seizure before lunchtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, it says I'm just having a look to see if there's anything in chat.
No,
Charts for limited specials and Windows is still ridiculous. Yes, of course.
Yeah, just one thing I wanted to bring up, and I did mention it last night on the other show, is that we've got a guy in our alliance, and he's using one brutal eradicator with the lower cannon mount on it, with another brutal eradicator sitting behind, with another eradicator sitting behind, and he's able to do the 106s for an hour and 9 minutes damage. He can do a full set for under 2 hours damage. It is possible if you haven't got a full fleet built, if you park the other blanks in the corner to give you the bonuses. So you can do that. If you put a grease monkey on, you'll do that for 2 coins.
Cool. So that's really similar to the way I was doing the last raid, which was my flag.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
I think I think the difference now is that people have got those 4 and 5 hulls, whereas last time, you could use the blanks to get the buffs, but it's more people have actually got the holes to be able to do them successfully. So it's good to hear.
Cool.
Yeah, one
Very good.
thing quickly.
Mhm.
This is my third target, and my fleet is not separated. I've not refreshed in between.
Yeah.
It was just that one hull that was parked up the top.
Well, cool. So
That's all I
maybe they fixed something that was.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
thinking that's what's causing the stacking issue is not having, is having it up in the corner.
yeah. No, it's the only thing I can think of. There's nothing else that's different. I've got the same crew. I've got the other 4 ships. I've not changed anything. All I've not got is that 5th hull sitting in the corner.
Try
And
putting
it's
it back. Try putting it back in once and see if you run back into the stacking problem to see if it's that or if it actually fixed it since this morning.
Yeah, I got to get the tokens first, but it's already refitting. It's got a 10-day refit on it. It's I'll try it though.
Ever start a refit when we're live on the air talks?
I'll never do it again. I promise.
10-day one. Bloody hell!
Good God.
That's a long refit.
It is a long refit. Very good.
Right, we're calling it.
Cool. All right. Well, hopefully we had some good things to talk about, and hopefully there's a few tips and stuff in there. I can't recommend enough to go and have a look at some videos if you're struggling, because it does make a big difference.
Yeah, didn't you say Derpy did a pretty good one?
Yeah, Derpy did a really, really good one, and that made a big difference for me. But there's quite a few out there. So, yeah, have a look around, have a look on the different pages, see what suits your what you've got and what you can do, and go from there. So
cool. Well,
right.
Till Thursday, guys. I guess we'll talk to you Thursday and talk about everything new in the Battle Pirates world and what all they break with this upcoming update. As always, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. If you haven't sent your friends to the page already, shame on you. Do so now. And we will talk to you Thursday. Until then, happy rating and good luck.
See you all.
Later.
Hooroo.
Good night, all.